anyone who has put any effort into breeding shrimp will at some point have been faced with the question whether or not to colour their shrimp. As shrimp breeders, we sometimes have to cull our shrimp to maintain a healthy colony and continue particular traits or colour lines. In this video, I will discuss what culling is and how I go about doing it. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Richard and I'm a fish and shrimp breeder based in the UK. So, to kick us off, what is culling? According to Wikipedia, culling is the process of segregating organisms from a group according to desired or undesired characteristics. What this usually means for shrimp breeders is removing individual shrimp based on their colour. As an example, in the tank up top, I have a gold line yellow Neocaridina shrimp, and I wish to improve and build on the gold line. Therefore, I have to cull or remove any shrimp that aren't showing that trait, that don't have the colours I desire. If I wish to continue or even improve the gold line that's running down the shrimp's back, I need to remove those that don't show that trait, so that I'm only breeding from the ones that do. It's the process of culling to improve colour that has given us some of the really bright red Bloody Mary or fire red shrimp. In fact, without culling and selective breeding, we wouldn't have any of the brightly coloured shrimp we enjoy today. Whilst many people consider culling to mean killing, it doesn't have to. Culling in shrimp breeding can simply mean removing those shrimp from the colony that don't show the traits we want them to show. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to kill those shrimp. Personally, I don't kill any of my culls. I either sell them or I give them away to friends and family. For instance, the yellow shrimp in the tank up top, the gold line shrimp in the tank at the top, any shrimp that aren't showing the gold line are still bright yellow shrimp. I can still sell those for between £1 and £3 per shrimp. They're still perfectly good, they're just not showing the trait I'm breeding for in that particular tank. I also have a tank which is affectionately known as the dumping tank, and any shrimp that don't meet the grade just get moved into that tank where they can happily live out their life. I know other shrimp breeders that will use their culls to feed to fish in their collection. This is obviously a personal choice, it's not one I take, but it works for them. There are of course other reasons we may choose to cull our shrimp, and typically that will be because of deformities or because a shrimp has a pest or a disease. In my experience, deformities in shrimp are fairly rare. Unlike say when you breed guppies and you frequently end up with one or more babies from each batch that have a bent spine, shrimp don't seem to suffer in the same way. If you did however end up with one or more shrimp with a deformity, then culling it may well be the kindest course of action. You certainly wouldn't want a deformed shrimp breeding with your perfectly healthy shrimp, as deformities are not typically characteristics we wish to carry on further down the line. So, how do we go about culling our shrimp? Typically, I will place a small amount of sinking food in the front of the tank and give the shrimp 3 or 4 minutes to come to the front and start eating the food. I'll then look at all the shrimp and, again using the example of my gold line yellows, I will remove any shrimp from the tank that isn't showing that characteristic. By using this method, you will remove some shrimp from the tank that are carrying the gold line genes but not displaying them. Once I have removed all the shrimp that I wish to cull, I should be left with a colony, all of which are displaying the trait I'm searching for. Now, a word of caution when it comes to culling shrimp based on colour. Culling is all in the timing. If we remove the shrimp too soon when they're too young, they may not yet be showing their ultimate colours. We might remove shrimp who would ultimately develop fantastic coloration. If we remove the shrimp too late, you may find a poorly coloured male has mated with one of your prized females, meaning the resulting babies may well be mixed or poorly coloured. In reality, unless you're staking your future income on a given strain of shrimp, I wouldn't stress too much about timing. If some of the less desirable males mate with my prize females and the babies don't show the colour I want, I can remove them further down the line. It's not the end of the world. So do bear in mind, your shrimp may not show their ultimate colour until they are mature. But if you're removing the culls and placing them in a dumping tank like mine, and then they show good colour, you can of course pick them up, put them back into the breeding tank, and they'll carry those genetics on for you. The other important point to remember is that, generally speaking, males do not show as much colour as females. You don't want to remove all of your poorly coloured shrimp if you're removing the males. You don't want to end up with a colony of brightly coloured females, because that's a colony that won't continue to grow. So don't only cull based on colour, you also need to make sure you leave some males and some females in the tank. If I were trying to improve a strain of red cherry shrimp, I would seek out the brightest males I had and keep them in the colony with the brightly coloured females. So culling simply means removing shrimp from a colony that either do not show a desired trait or are actually showing unwanted traits. To be fair, if we never culled any of our shrimp, we may well eventually breed ourselves down to poorly coloured or even non-coloured shrimp. So to sum up, culling your shrimp does not necessarily mean killing them, it just means removing those shrimp that don't show a particular colour or particular trait from the breeding tank, leaving you with a solid strain that will go on to produce good coloured babies. If you're wondering how to go about building a large colony of shrimp, check out the video I've linked on screen. Thanks for watching.